Hear that? Yeah, that's the sound of you relaxing, because now you're managing diabetes with the Freestyle Libre 3 system. You get to know your glucose levels and where it's headed. Manage your diabetes with more confidence with the Freestyle Libre 3 system. Ready to learn more about the #1 prescribed CGM in the U.S.? Visit freestylelibre.us to learn more. Based on retail sales data for patients' last filled prescription by manufacturer. Refer to the FLAIR NL4 study published in BMJ Open Diabetes Research and Care 2019. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
Like, friendship for me is everything. I don't come from like a big family or anything, so my friends are my family. Like, that's why if you're my friend, like, you're my ride or die. Like, I will do anything for you. And yeah, it just comes down to having those people and like connecting and getting deep. You know, you can't really further a relationship and deepen a relationship if you're not willing to be vulnerable with your friends and like talk about hard shit and like stuff like that. Like, that's how my group has gotten so close, is because we're just so like honest and vulnerable with each other.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to or back to the show. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. I have Natalia on the podcast today. Hey girl, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm
Absolutely.
so excited to be here.
So pumped that you can be here.
Yeah, and so good to finally meet you.
I know. I feel like I've followed you, or like that. That always sounds weird. Like, I've followed you on Instagram.
No,
I
but
know,
that's
like,
just how it is.
It is. It's
Yeah.
like I almost know everything about you, but like, you know.
Let's normalize it. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. Like, I know everything
true.
about you too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but
like,
here we are.
Do you ever just you find a cute boy on Instagram or something, or like, you know, you're about to go on a date and you're like listening to them talk, you're like, I do that,
You're like,
I also do that. You gotta play it cool.
Once you go through the tagged photos, it's like game over. Like, I know way too much.
Okay, I think you would really get along with my little sister because she is the queen of like the tagged photo section.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know way too much. You know more than you ever wanted to know.
And that's why I don't allow myself to overstep anymore, because I'm like, sometimes it just ruins it for me. Like, I get the
Yeah. No, but true. And also, like, it's fun to be surprised a little bit, you know, like kind of like let them introduce themselves.
Exactly.
So, have you ever found that people will meet you in real life and then I guess we're going to do this the entire podcast, but like, have you ever like met someone and then they already have like these preconceived ideas about you because they followed you online?
100%. It's the weirdest thing.
It's so
bizarre. I'm like, do you
bizarre.
actually know me though?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
No, well, and I've connected with people. You know, like, I moved to Annapolis probably about a year and a half ago. When I first moved there, I was really adamant about like making connections with people, just kind of like right off the bat. Like, whoever DM'd was like, hey, I live here, like, welcome to the town, like, if you want to grab coffee, meet up for something, I would say yes. But then they would always kind of have like this idea of like who they are. But I feel like if you're a creator, it's a little different because you kind of get the same, you know, does that like,
exactly. It's like
understand.
we have the same, like, not the same life obviously, but like go through some of the similar same
Yes.
situations and things work wise, and also just like being a content creator. I feel like, I don't know, it's like, it's hard to describe.
It is so hard to describe.
Yeah.
Like, just like if someone's like, what's a day in your life like, and you're like, I have
it's
no idea
different
what I'm
every
doing
day.
tomorrow.
Yeah. It's literally different every single day.
So different.
Yeah.
So you are a full-time content creator.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about you, your journey to building your platform, all that jazz? So deciding that you wanted to be a full-time content creator, all that.
Yeah. So I started posting content as a side hobby. Like in 2020, that's when I started my Instagram page, Nat's Neat Eats. And honestly, I only posted on there for like recipes, and it was just like a side thing because I was in college at the time, at community college. And most of my like close friends weren't living in the same city I was. They were like out of state for college or just out of the city. So um, I started becoming like obsessed with wellness and just like improving my life in all aspects. And I decided to share that and make an account. And I really did not think anything of it, really. Like it was just a little passion project, side hobby. But then obviously the pandemic hit. And I really loved posting, and I was like, okay, I want to like continue doing this and put more of my time into this. And now that school like is from home, like I have way more time. So I made a TikTok, started posting more, gained more of a following. And because of like that following, it just made me realize like how passionate I am about not only, you know, wellness and all the things I share, but just like creating a community and just like receiving DMs from people being like, you help me with this. And I don't know, it just made me feel like that was my current passion. And I decided to drop out of college, move to LA, do the whole thing.
I love it.
And it was honestly like the best decision I could have ever made. And I'm still doing it, yeah.
So when you decided to leave school, because I also left school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually withdrew from all my classes without telling my mom and dad.
Oh, that's bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a full story for a different day. But
Yeah.
I did the same thing. And my listeners, they've heard my story, whatever. But how was that process like for you, presenting an idea to your parents or to your friends even, hey, I'm going to do something super out of the ordinary? What was that process like for you?
So I would say like talking to my parents was the most difficult part, just because my mom has always been very strict on me school-wise, and I was never a straight A student. Like school is just not my jam. Like it's very tough for me, tougher than most people. For whatever reason, school is just not my thing. And talking to my parents about it was a huge stressor, but like I knew that like this is what I wanted to do, and regardless if they were going to accept it or not, like I was still going to make it happen for myself. So going into the conversation, obviously I was like super nervous about it, but I just told them like, hey, this is where I feel like my heart is leading me to right now, and I want to, fully send this and move to LA. Like I already have friends in the same industry, you can call it, that live there. So like I have community there. Like it just makes sense for me right now. And I even like would read them some of the DMs like I was receiving, just so that they could understand.
Oh, I love that.
Because I feel like, my parents are older. Like most parents don't fully understand social media.
Right.
And I was like, I didn't have a manager at the time. I didn't have much certainty, but I kept telling them, like, I'm gonna make this happen. Like, it's gonna work out. Like, even if it doesn't work out, let's say, I can go back to school. Like, school will always be there. But I wanna, like, continue with this traction and, like, just go for it. And they ended up, like, understanding and supporting me. So, but it was definitely nerve-wracking to tell them.
Oh, I would imagine it's like terrifying.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't say a word when I did that.
Yeah. Were your parents strict too, like with school and stuff, or?
They were, but they also, kind of similar to your experience, like they kind of saw the impact that I was making. And I think, from their point of view, they were like, oh my gosh, this is such a different time than, when they were growing up. It was kind of like a very certain path that you had to follow. And I think now there's a lot more flexibility and it's being more widely accepted. But yeah, when my sister told them, my dad came into my room and he was like, hey, so Lexi actually mentioned that you withdrew from your classes. Can we just talk about that? I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh, yeah.
yeah, we probably should. For me, I think it was just, kind of like you, I just felt called. And
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, I feel like I have to do this. So when you moved to LA, what was that like for you? Had you lived in LA prior, or like, like before in your lifetime, or was this like a whole new, like, new city, new people, new home, everything?
So I never moved ever. I had lived in my childhood home from zero till I was 21. That's when I moved. So yeah, it was my first time in LA, first time with a roommate, new friends, new job, new everything. So it was a lot of newness that I had to become comfortable with, and just like creating a new routine. But it was like newness that I was so excited for, because I was so ready to finally live on my own and just like be around more like-minded people, because my closest friends weren't even really at home. So just having those like-minded people, because I met the girls that live in LA, I met them through Instagram before I moved. So that was just like kind of another thing that I was like, I already have friends there pretty much,
Yeah.
like I get to grow those relationships. So I was super excited for like the whole new journey, but obviously scared as well, because I didn't have certainty with the whole job. Like I wasn't making too much money with social media yet. But then I got a manager and everything just started aligning, and it like all started to make sense, that like the decision of moving to LA, like it started all falling into place.
So when you moved here, what would you say was the biggest challenge that you faced as kind of just like embracing all this newness?
Yeah. I would say just like being on my own, like actually on my own. Um, I feel like I've always counted on my parents for so many different things. And I'm like the only child. I was definitely like very babied till I was 21. Still am, because I moved back home, but we can get into that. But yeah, I would say just like fully depending on myself and relying on myself, and just being a big girl, like putting my big girl boots on, and like also proving to my parents and like my friends and everyone that like I'm gonna make this work for myself. Having that pressure definitely made me feel like I had to just really prove myself, which was hard in some mental health aspects. But all in all, I'm so happy that I made the decision.
So I want to talk about, if you're open to it, a little bit of the mental health side of things, because you're super, super transparent on social media, and I love that about you. You have a whole, I don't know if it's a highlight or maybe a pin post or something, but just like you're very, very dedicated to vulnerability and transparency, and I love that about you.
Thank you.
What would you say? Okay, first off, what's it like for you to literally lay it all out on the line online?
Yeah. It's definitely like not easy, but at the same time, the only reason why I practice so much like just being real and honest is because I feel like that's what social media needs. And like that's what I needed to see when I was younger and going through stuff. Like I wish there was more people sharing the raw, vulnerable moments. So like that is literally my only goal with my social media. I feel like at this point my social media has changed so much. I went from, talking about, past eating disorder, and then talking about mental health things and healing and like just different things. I just want to be honest about it all. So that's just kind of where I'm at on my social media status, I would say, is just like showing the real things I'm going through as a 23-year-old. From when I started 21 to 23, there's still so much learning to do, and that is what I'm here to share on my platform, is like the things I'm learning, the things I'm unlearning. But it's not easy also when like there's particular people that are gonna see it. Like that's what keeps me holding back sometimes. I'm like, I know this person's gonna see it, and like I don't want them to know that vulnerable side of me. But then I'm like, but think of like all the other thousands of people that could hear this, and it could like change their day, change their life. Like that's what keeps me going.
It's such a weird balance, like a delicate dance between what you can share because it's like relatable to people versus like oversharing and like putting yourself into like a weird position. And I always kind of err on the side of like share it all because that's what people like need and want to hear.
Of course.
And I found that people connect better when you share your true vulnerable self and your true vulnerable story. And honestly, I would say when I started to talk about mental health, food in a different way, I saw people really kind of cling to that rather than like running away. Would you say that people like are almost like more attracted to you because you're more vulnerable?
100%. I feel like that's why I have a following is because like
yeah.
I feel like without my vulnerability, like what's the point? Like I'm not here to just post pictures and look cute. Like that's not why I'm an influencer.
Oh my gosh. When I see people, and like you can probably think of like the names of people that I'm thinking, not like in our genre, I don't think, because I think our genre does a good job of. Do you use that word like our genre of like social media?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I say. Okay.
yeah.
Like the wellness,
Community,
genre.
for
Yeah,
sure.
community genre.
Yeah.
But I'm, people who have like been on YouTube for a while, or people who just have built up followings just for like posting pretty pictures. Like, yeah, they're pretty pictures and yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, how, I don't like why?
I know. I know. I don't know how they still have jobs.
No, literally.
I feel like social media is just changing so much where it's like if you're just posting a bikini photo and you're just like I don't know.
People
I just
want
don't get it
more.
anymore. Yeah.
They want more.
They want more.
Instagram and TikTok were like your main things, right? And then you started a podcast.
Yes.
Okay, tell me a little bit about you in the podcast space.
I started I think exactly a year ago. I've always wanted to start a podcast ever since I got on social media. I just think I've learned so much through listening to podcasts. Like I think I've learned more through podcasts than I ever did in school. Like actually, as an adult, like so much. So I knew that was something I wanted to do eventually, and then finally started it a year ago, and it's been great. I just share a little bit of everything, wellness things, mental health, like July favorites, wellness things, like just a little bit of everything. And I've just started having guests on too. So
okay, I also just kind of started having guests on like within the past like 6 months or so.
Me too.
And it's kind of like it's just a different vibe. Yeah. I find that solo episodes are almost like journal entries.
100%
for me.
Yeah.
It's like here's my entire heart.
And you know what? It's hard for me I don't know about you, but like for me personally, it's hard to dig that deep like every single week. Like it takes a lot of mental energy to talk about the things that we talk about.
Yep.
And it can be draining sometimes. Like sometimes I just want to be like, I don't want to think about like what I've been through the past 21 years. Like I kind of just like like want to just not, like we shouldn't be doing that all the time.
You just put to words like literally the feeling that I have sometimes when I know that I have to record something and I know that I'll sit around in the house all day long procrastinating, and it's because I don't want to get deep with myself.
That is
am I avoiding myself? I don't know.
I think that we need breaks. Like I don't like cuz I think that like the whole healing process and like self-improvement, like it's great. Like obviously anyone who's investing in themselves, like 100%, that's amazing, but like we need breaks too to just like sit and be and just exist and be horizontal and watch Love Island and just be a human and not like think about every trauma we've had and like
literally
all the experiences that led us to who we are now. Like that is important to share, but I think just like being honest with yourself when you need a break is what I've been doing, and that's why I've been having like guests on so I can like take a break from myself and like get to know someone else. Like it's important for us.
I think so too. And I think too, like you can't always be in like healing girl mode. Like my whole summer season, this will be a fall episode by the way.
Okay.
My whole summer season has been about healing girl summer. And it's been heavy. Like it's good. It's been helpful for the listeners, but I'm just like, dang, like I'm, like healing's good, but like too much healing. Like is that a thing? I don't know.
Girl, me and you both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk to me about your healing journey then. Are you like in the process? Okay, we talked a little about like new beginnings. So I'm getting the sense that they're probably intertwined, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Although we just said that we don't want to get deep, but let's do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even really know where to start. I feel if I'm being completely honest and vulnerable right now, I've had a week. It's been a very heavy week. August has not been treating me the best.
What's going on? Why?
Well, so I already told you this off of the podcast, but my car got broken into like a week ago. Lost my camera, lost my laptop.
Wait, okay, tell the
Beats.
story a little bit more, because I feel like the listeners will probably they'll be like, wait, her car got broken into? Like, let's hear the story.
Yeah, if you follow me, you know. But basically, I was at dinner with my friend Lindsay last week, and in the arts district, we were in the arts district, and I left my so I live in Orange County, and whenever I come up to LA, I bring all my stuff with me, because it's like I'm a content creator, so I got my camera, I got my laptop, like I have things I'm doing while I'm in LA, so I bring all those valuables with me. Otherwise, why else would I bring those things, you know? But stupid, silly little me left her laptop, camera, beats, makeup all in one bag in my front seat. And I like covered the bag, but if someone wants something, they're going to break in and they're just going to find whatever's there. So yeah, my car got broken into, which was not the best. Still processing the fact that they have my like laptop with all my things.
Everything.
And, yeah.
As a creator, or honestly, just as a human.
It's like my work.
Yeah, that's your work.
Yeah.
That's your life. My heart breaks. The fact that you lost your vlog camera too, like all the footage, the stuff on. Sorry, I don't want to keep jabbing the knife. But like,
no, it's fine. Honestly, like I have peace with it. Like it's happened. It's over with. I'm glad I'm safe. You know, if I would have gone back to my car while they were doing that, who knows what could have happened.
Right.
So I'm glad I'm safe. Everything is material. I can get new things. Like it's fine. But regardless of that, like I'm just not having a very peaceful environment at home, which is hard. It is something I'm currently trying to get out of. So I'm moving. This is I haven't even said this to anyone yet on my socials or anything, but I'm moving very, very soon as possible. That's the next goal. So new beginnings are very needed.
Like where you're gonna head to? Like, are you gonna come back to LA or stay in Orange County?
I think I'm gonna stay in Orange County. Did the whole LA thing. But LA is just not for me, like, long term. Okay. Like, I did it, but I prefer just a more, like, peaceful environment.
Totally understandable, yeah.
Like, cities, like, obviously LA, you got the beach and you got the city, but just moving back home to Orange County, like, just that area, I just feel more myself there.
I kind of feel like more at home, too.
I do, in a way,
like,
yeah.
If you know, like, the roads and the restaurants and the people, like, you know, just probably like feels good.
It does. Yeah, I have my spots I go to. All my friends from college move back home too.
Oh, fun. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then when I want to visit my LA friends, you know, it's like an hour drive, but they're worth to come up for. So I see them like once a week. It just makes sense to live in Orange County, but just very excited to have my own space.
You.
Yeah.
Sergeant and Mr. Smith, you're gonna love this house.
Bunk beds in a closet?
There's no field manual for finding the right home. But when you do, USAA Homeowners Insurance can help protect it the right way. Restrictions apply.
Earning your degree online doesn't mean you have to go about it alone. At Capella University, we're here to support you when you're ready. From enrollment counselors who get to know you and your goals, to academic coaches who can help you form a plan to stay on track. We care about your success and are dedicated to helping you pursue your goals. Going back to school is a big step, but having support at every step of your academic journey can make a big difference. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu.
Are you going to live alone?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm so excited
for you.
Like, literally since I was, like, 12 years old, like, I've dreamt of just having my own place, like, my own space.
You can decorate everything the way you
I
want
know.
to.
I'm so excited.
I'm so pumped for you.
Thank you. Yeah. So,
That's awesome.
New beginnings happening
so
soon.
Excited.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in, like, the new beginning realm that you're kind of feeling? Do you feel like stuff's, like, brewing to some degree?
Okay. I would say, like, this next phase of my life, this next chapter is just going to be a lot of, like, uncomfortable healing work, a lot of unlearning, because I will be in my own space and my own environment. So like anything else like is just gonna be in a way like cut off because I'll just be with myself and I'm gonna have like uncomfortable things come through. I feel like with healing, like I feel like I've been running away from some of my problems and like deep-rooted issues just to quote unquote survive. So, and I know that sounds so like
No, but
I don't even know how to it's hard for me to even talk about
It's
this because I
valid.
haven't even like that's why for me I don't like to talk about things until I've fully gone through it.
Yeah.
Just because it's like it's because I'm like in the thick of it right now. So
Right.
it's like how do I even talk about it? But like I said, next phase is just unlearning and just being and sitting with myself and sitting with those emotions that I've been running away from for so long and like actually like intentionally sitting with them because I feel like the only way you have to heal the things that you're running away from is by really just going through it. You know what I'm
like
saying?
diving head first. Absolutely.
And I don't want to, but I have to.
No, it's terrifying.
I have to.
But the fact that you recognize that you have to, you're probably like light years ahead of where you think you are, to be honest. Because if you really weren't where you think you are, okay, I feel like if you recognize it, you're almost there.
I like that. Yes.
Because if you're not
being aware of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've always been aware of the things that I'm trying to heal from, but I didn't want to put in the work to heal it because I'm like, it's not a good time yet, or I'm not ready enough yet. But then those feelings and those like things that you're running away from are just gonna keep prolonging. And it's like I'm trying to end the cycle now. Like I'm trying to start becoming the person that I want to be now. Like I can't keep letting, excuses holding me back from that version I'm trying to create.
So what's the ideal version of you that you're trying to step into in this new beginning?
Whew. Definitely someone who, like, I like to say I'm already authentic because I try to, that's like the most that's the most important thing to me is to be authentic, but I just feel like I've been really like holding back my power and my full potential, which is just someone who I feel like I have a hard time like expressing my emotions and like just like even like podcasts like this, like it's hard for me to like really talk about how I feel genuinely. And I feel like because my throat chakra is like blocked for whatever reason, whatever happened to me as a child, my throat chakra has been blocked. So I feel like by fully stepping into my power and just allowing myself to be honest and vulnerable with people I love, that will help me be the person I'm trying to become, which is just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
So I have something for you. So a little backstory. So I am writing a chapter in a book, and the book's all about healing.
Oh my God.
And
Love.
I'm super pumped about it. But
That's awesome.
I really struggled with food back in like the wintertime, like the fall and winter time, like just kind of a shit show. If without getting into the dirty details.
Oh, I know.
Pretty much a shit show. I'm
If
sure
you know,
you're familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
I'm sorry, by the way.
Thank you.
Went through that.
Thank you.
It's not fun.
Not at all.
No.
But I'm sure we can chat about it. Maybe off the mic. I don't know if I'm ready to like fully get into it, but this chapter in this book, this was the first time that I really opened up about some of the stuff that I was going through. And it wasn't until I had my sister read it first, and then one of my best friends in the entire world read it second. And then I slowly just had like more and more people reading it. And it's like this deep, vulnerable, like almost like, here guys, read my diary.
Yeah.
But I finally felt understood, and I finally felt heard. And by kind of giving them, and writing was a cool tool too, because I didn't have to say it. I could just be like, okay, here, you read this, you process this kind of like for me in a way. And then you can come back to me and be like, oh my gosh, I never knew that you went through that. This is what I think. Like, let me give you a hug, whatever. And because like I could be open and honest with them, it helped me then heal in turn, if that kind of makes sense too. So it's like I felt heard and seen, by them. So then they, I don't know, like it was so much easier to like get through, you know?
Wow. Okay. I love that so much, and I completely relate to that. That's actually, it's weird because I went through the same exact thing this past weekend with a few of my friends I saw in LA. I told them about a recent situation that I had been going through, and just hearing them validate
Yeah.
the things I've been going through, and like hearing them give me support and love, and just like, again, the validation of like how you're feeling is okay. Like just having that support like you had from your sisters probably meant so much, and just helped you, yeah, heal through it. Like, again, that's what I'm going through right now. It's like healing those things that, are harder to talk about.
Yeah. And I think if you're just kind of like dealing with it alone, it's just going to be so much harder because you like can't let anyone into your space, and then you're just like spiraling in your head, you know?
1000%.
And then the minute that you get that validation, you're like, oh, wait, I'm not crazy, you know?
Dude, it's so weird. This is exactly like how I've been feeling.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that when you moved here, okay, so you said that you moved here and you kind of had like friends already. And then what was it like just creating a community in a new city and then kind of like deepening those relationships to then get to this point where you can be like super vulnerable with them?
During the pandemic, the girls I was talking to online that I had never met before, but they all knew of each other because they all lived in LA. They would like hold these picnics. So I would drive up from Orange County like every weekend, and that's how like I started becoming friends with them. Obviously, we weren't deep or anything, but I all I knew was that I loved being around them. They seemed very genuine, and it's not hard. It's not easy for me to just open up to obviously just anyone, especially in your 20s. Like it's so hard to find actual good
So
friends.
freaking hard. Yeah.
So hard.
So hard.
And yeah, I was very skeptical because LA also has the worst rep. Like everyone here is fake, right? Like that is just what LA you hear. So I was skeptical, but because like we're all in the wellness community, I was hoping that, it wasn't going to be like that. And of course, I've had some friendships while living in LA that ended up being very superficial, transactional. But it's like I kind of already knew that, like within, like I read people's energy very quickly. Like I know if we're going to vibe or not. So those people I would just like keep a close distance from. But the girls that I'm still friends with to this day, like I just knew that like we were going to get along. And yeah, I'm very fortunate to have met them in the time I did, how it all happened. Like I still look back and I'm like, how did I meet such amazing people? Like I don't know if it was just because of the pandemic, like everyone just felt more connected online. Like I have no idea, but I'm so damn grateful.
I think when you find a core group in your 20s that you can really kind of like cling to in a sense, and I don't know, like it's all just like this weird like in between, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And when you can find a core group that you can relate to, that you can vent to, kind of like remove yourself from like, I don't know, because for me growing up it was always like I talked to my family, but kind of outside of our like little family unit, it's so important to have those voices of, maybe they've had a different path in life, or, they just kind of like come from somewhere else and they can bring different perspectives. And I think for me, like once I found a little bit of a core group, my just happiness level increased, my mental health got better. I don't know what it was like for you, but just like kind of having people.
1000%. I think that connection is like, for me, like top 5 mental health things. Like connection is like number 1. Like having people you can talk to that you can actually trust. And like friendship for me is everything. I don't come from like a big family or anything. So my friends are my family. Like that's why like if you're my friend, like you're my ride or die. Like I will do anything for you. And yeah, it just comes down to having those people and like connecting and getting deep. I feel like I can't really, you can't really further a relationship and deepen a relationship if you're not willing to be vulnerable with your friends and like talk about hard shit. And like stuff like that. Like, that's how my group has gotten so close, is because we're just so, like, honest and vulnerable with each other. And that's something I definitely did not have in high school. So I think that they've really healed a lot of, like, the past hectic girl friendships that I had, you know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah. I mean, in high school, I think a lot of people are just afraid
Mm-hmm.
because you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about my problems. I don't want to talk about, high school's so hard, and you're just like, everyone's trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, once you meet people, I guess we'll say like in real life, you
Yeah.
know, like once you get out of like your high school level,
Yeah.
it's so different. I think if you can get vulnerable, sometimes my friends get mad at me because I'm like, okay, let's go deep. Like, let's get this conversation past the surface. Like, let's just, roll into like, how are you feeling today? How are you doing? Should I be concerned? Like,
Yeah.
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 And I think that is how you really just get to know people and create a true connection for sure. I want to talk a little bit about your wellness routines. So you post so much cool wellness content. Your workouts are fun. You do like literally the cutest little dances. Like you do. I watch your TikToks and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cute.
Oh my God. Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome.
I never know what I'm doing, by the way. Like, just so everyone knows, I know I'm not a dancer.
Okay, but
Okay,
you can
I'm just
groove.
moving my body in silly ways. Like,
But you look like you know what you're doing.
well, thank you.
I was gonna ask, were you a dancer?
No,
No?
I always wanted to be.
Did you do like any sports or anything growing up?
Yeah, I did a lot of sports. But in high school, I did track and cross country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you run,
I do run.
right?
Yes.
How's that going?
So I was actually supposed to do a half marathon this weekend, but unfortunately, girl was not stretching properly, so I like ruined my knee like a month ago. Like, yeah, I had to stop running for like 2 weeks, and then I've just started like getting back to running. I was like, okay, the marathon is literally this weekend. Like,
Oh shoot.
it's just I want to do it, but at the same time, it's just not gonna happen this
Yeah.
weekend.
Well, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
It'll happen
which
when
is
it's
so
supposed to
cliche
happen.
and like toxically positive.
No,
but,
literally.
like,
I'm
yeah.
like, rejection is redirection.
Yeah. There you go.
Wasn't supposed to happen this weekend, you know?
There you
It's
go.
fine.
Yeah, and then you're gonna run a different one, and it's gonna be the best
Exactly.
one ever. You're gonna like meet someone cool, or like
Exactly.
something like, or
I'm
you're
gonna meet my husband on the run. Like, it just wasn't meant to be this weekend.
because you're supposed to meet your husband whenever you run the next one
That is just how it goes.
with a healthy knee.
Thank you.
There you go.
You get it.
Yeah,
Like, thank you for
absolutely.
understanding.
No problem.
I feel so validated right now.
There we go. Okay. So talk me through a little bit of kind of like your day-to-day wellness routine. Maybe we start in the morning.
Okay.
What is just kind of like walk us through your morning routine if you have one.
Yeah. So it definitely changes, but I'll tell you mine right now.
Okay.
So I wake up, lately I've been waking up around 6. That's just when my body wakes me up. Sometimes I'll wake up at 8 if I need that extra rest, because I think sleep is number one. I need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, or else you don't want to be around me. That's just how it works. But yeah, lately 6 a.m. wake up, and because I'm going through this little funk in my life right now, transition, journaling is like what's keeping me afloat right now, and just getting out everything I'm going through. So I have been journaling for at least like 5 minutes in the morning, just like a mind dump, because I love journaling for the fact that I can look back at the periods of my life where I was going through it, and I can look back and see everything I was feeling and know how I grew from that. And so that's why I'm so adamant right now, especially, like, I'm writing down everything, because I know I'm going to grow from this, and it's just like a little moment I can like be proud of myself,
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah.
So I've been journaling a lot this week, and then I'll have my little coffee. I always drink water before coffee though, and then I'll have like a banana with peanut butter just to get something in my stomach. I don't wake up super hungry at 6 a.m., but I do like to have something before coffee, so have my banana, peanut butter, pink salt, and then
Love it.
I'll make my coffee, and then I'll just go for a walk outside. little neighborhood walk, like 20 minutes. I'll listen to a podcast, listen to healing frequencies, listen to music, whatever I'm feeling. Again, every day is different for me work-wise. So if I have a brand deal I have to get done, or if I have more time in the morning, I'll go to the gym. But movement, sunlight, journaling, caffeine, those are the important things.
All the important things.
Yeah.
Do you have specific like journaling prompts that you use, or do you just kind of brain dump?
It really depends what life season I'm in and what I'm feeling. But as of lately, like I said, just like mind dumping has just been good for me. But also I've been using these like manifestation scripting types of things because I'm moving to a new space. So I like to envision what my life is going to feel like in this next chapter of my life, what it's going to look like, who's going to be there. So a lot of manifestation as well.
It's wild if you write stuff down and then you go back and look at it, like, and it's almost like to a T.
It's crazy. When I was about to move to LA and I didn't have like a management team, didn't have like constant income, like that was one of my biggest worries. It was like, how am I gonna actually financially support myself? I was manifesting like a management team and income, you know, that was more constant, and I ended up finding a management team 3 months of living in LA.
Wow.
And they're like a trusted team, you know, because it's also hard to like find that. And I've been with them ever since. So that was also just like a cool little thank you. Yeah.
Even if it's just like, I don't know, just like a little bit of like a wish list, you know, just like, okay, like this is what I want.
The intention setting.
Yeah.
Like getting it out there, putting it on paper, saying it out loud. Voice memos. I don't know if you do voice memos.
Love voice memos.
Voice memos are so like therapeutic.
They are. When I was like really going through it with my job, I took a video. Actually, I deleted it on the plane ride over here because I was like, I don't need this anymore. And I might want it again someday, but it was a video of me literally crying in my car, saying like, it was from February, and I was like, okay, by April, I'm going to be able to support myself outside of my job, you know, my like 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
The podcast is going to be doing well, and I'm going to be happier. And then sure enough, like a month later, I ended up quitting my job. I was like, I got to get out of my cubicle. Like, yeah. And then just, yeah, but it's crazy. Like if you just, it's so cliche, but if you want it, you can go for it. You can always get it.
And you have to make it happen too. Like,
yeah.
I think there's a fine line with like the whole manifestation thing where it's like, send it out and it'll happen. Like, no, you also have to put in the work to make it happen. Like, you intention set, and then you do the little steps to make it happen. And then it'll happen, because it's like, yeah, the intention's out there and you're actually working to make it happen as well.
Yeah.
There's something about it too where it's like, I like to know that like I have what I have, and I've achieved what I've achieved because I've put in hard work, set aside from like the intention setting, you know?
Yeah. And it's good to feel, I feel like everyone wants to like slap your back and like shake your hand when you're like, you know, on top and like in the success, but it's fun to like look back at like, you know, you go back through your journal and be like, okay, well, this is when I was really going through the thick of it. But at the same time, I was still pumping out a podcast episode. I was still grinding on my job, even though I was like emotionally going through it.
Yeah.
And I think those are the most powerful moments where you're like, okay, well, if I could do it, you know, if the version of me from 6 months ago could do it, I can definitely do it now when I'm like feeling good, you know?
100%. Yeah. It's all about having that reflection and like reading those old journal entries. Like I've done that so much, especially when I'm going through a hard time, because it's like, okay, if I got out of that hard time, I can get through this hard time.
Yeah.
You know, just
Absolutely.
reflecting.
Let's talk about micro habits.
Okay.
Have you found any little teeny tiny habits that you use in your daily life that make your life easier or better or healthier or just make you happier?
Micro habits. Let me think about this for a sec.
Like, for example, something for me is tongue scraping.
Okay.
Like, love tongues. Just like something like little and micro.
Yeah.
Like that was the first thing in my suitcase when I packed. Like it's gotta come with me.
It's a game changer.
It
If
is.
you're not tongue scraping, you gotta get on this.
It's the least sexy name you could ever imagine.
I know.
But, like,
and it's not sexy while you're doing it, but
no.
like
Close the door to the bathroom.
Yeah. Like when I have a boyfriend someday, he's not gonna.
You will not catch me tongue.
That's the one vulnerable thing I will not show. Is the tongue scraping.
No, literally.
Sorry.
Like, I'll
it's
shut
not
the
happening.
door, go in private. Like,
Literally. You can watch me poop. You can watch me do
Yeah,
anything
I will do
else.
anything. I'll do anything else in front of you. Tongue scraping is not one of those things.
That is a boundary I will not cross.
Hard line in the sand there.
Period. No, that's so funny. Okay, let me think. In the morning, I try to really habit stack.
That's so good.
Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like in the mornings, I'm just the most energized, productive, and I feel like if I get all the things I want to get done, it's gonna happen in the morning. Because I get a
100%.
midday slump, and then it's like you're done. Like
It's if it happens after like 1 to like the 3, which is weird because we're recording them 1 to 3 and I'm feeling great, but like, but yeah, it's the afternoons. The afternoons hard.
Yeah. But I would say the micro habits are honestly just morning sunlight. Like, not only do I sleep better, it's this whole, I don't know if you listen to like Andrew Huberman.
Love him.
Huberman, yeah. But he's big on like morning sunlight,
Yeah.
so that's been a priority for me. My sleep has been better. I've been really struggling with sleep. So morning sunlight, also magnesium at night. I don't know if you take magnesium.
I don't, but I've heard about it. I feel
Yeah,
like I need to do it. I need to do it.
Everyone says magnesium for years. I was like, okay, I'll get on it eventually. No, you gotta get on it. Like,
Okay.
I
I'll
have
do
this
it.
little I take this pouch from Moon. Oh my god, I'm blanking.
I feel like I can picture.
I literally
like,
posted
the
it last
name.
night. I
feel like
posted
can
it last
picture,
night.
like, or like the logo.
Shoot, I can't remember the brand. It's called Moon something, but it's this magnesium powder. It's like a nighttime mocktail.
Okay.
I'll have the powder with water before bed. It tastes good. And it just helps me like calm down, wind down. So that's been helping with my sleep. Another micro habit I've been loving is the diffuser.
Oh, essential oils.
Essential oil diffuser.
Do you have a specific oil that you like?
Peppermint. I love
Okay.
peppermint. Just helps me wind down. But also, do you know the brand Sage? Saje?
S-A-J-E. I don't.
It's like a wellness brand. They have like
No.
diffusers, essential oils.
Okay.
And I've been using all of their essential oils. So they have like different ones. So if you need energy, they have like these energy drops.
Ooh, okay.
If you need something to wind down drops. And I'll just have that going. Like whether I'm in my room, on my laptop, I just need like just essential oils make me feel some type of way.
I love them.
Yeah.
So I have this little. This is a little woo woo. I don't. How are you? Kind of woo woo.
I'm pretty woo.
Okay, I'm not,
I
like-
can get there.
Okay, I'm not like you
I'm
know.
open.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I had this. I went to go see this energy healer one time, and she gave me some essential oils, and it was like lemon and something else, maybe vanilla. But she like charged them energetically with like positive affirmations, and so she put it in a roller ball like perfume. So if I'm
Whoa.
feeling sad about myself or my body or whatever, I literally just roll some on my wrist and like a little on my neck, and I just feel better. It's probably a little bit of the
Wow.
placebo effect, but also
Yeah.
like good vibes are in there, I'm sure. You know?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Like that's fine.
Essential oils they have like some of those like healing properties too.
100%.
So I think like the one that
100%.
like the little cocktail of essential oils that she gave me was for like self-love.
Ah,
like love it.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah.
Affirmations. That is one
Huge.
thing I strongly believe in. Affirmations have changed my life.
Do you sit in front of the mirror and say them? I do sticky notes on the mirror and I read
love
them like,
that.
while I brush my teeth.
I love that. I have not done that yet. I know I feel like affirmations, like there's so many different ways
So
you can
many, yeah.
affirm yourself. I haven't done the sticky note one yet. But ever since I started my wellness journey, I would just write like 3 affirmations in my journal in the morning. I'm a big journal girly, if you can't tell.
I love it.
But yeah, no, I would write them down in my journal, and then sometimes I'll say them out loud. But for me, I just like writing things.
Mhm.
So writing it down first thing in the morning to fill my head with like positive energy about my day, about myself. Such a game changer, honestly.
So what is one piece of content that has changed your life? Kind of in like the wellness realm, so whether it's like a podcast or a book or a quote, or is there anything that has really been like a staple in your life so far?
Podcasts, like listening to podcasts has been the thing that has gotten me the most into wellness and like just self-improvement overall. The Skinny Confidential was like one of the first podcasts I started like religiously listening to, and just like hearing all the different guests that they would have. And I don't know, I feel like I've learned so much through that podcast, even though I feel like it's not necessarily like a wellness centered podcast.
But they do like so much like wellnessy stuff though. You know?
True,
like,
true.
They've got a lot of like wellness guests.
Yeah, true. So it's a podcast. Also, Ed Milet. Love him.
He's good, yeah.
He's one of my favorites. And also Jay Shetty, the Jay Shetty podcast. Yeah, I'm definitely like an audio learner. So just putting on a podcast while going on a walk, like literally during the pandemic, that's all I did was like just listen to so many podcasts. And I feel like that's what kickstarted this whole journey for me, was just like really like having that time to really invest in myself and, you know, who I was trying to become, and sharing my lessons and sharing everything on social media, and then gaining that following and just wanting to keep improving and sharing it.
Okay, so we're going to do a quick little hot seat rapid fire Q&A.
Okay.
To just kind of round out this episode.
Good thing I'm an overthinker. So
okay, less than 5 seconds.
Okay, here we go.
See. Unless you like are really like I have to think of it.
Okay, that's gonna be every question, but it's fine.
Okay, there are no rules here. It's fine. Okay, so what is your go-to party trick?
Party trick? Ooh, neck farting.
Impressive. Okay,
how you don't want to see that.
We'll save that for the party.
Okay. Yeah.
How do you feel about pineapple on pizza?
No.
No?
Immediate no.
No?
Nope.
Okay, interesting. What is one song that's on repeat right now?
In my head?
Yeah. Or like the first song that you hit like when you get in the car, like the song that like you're just like playing over and over again.
Like what genre?
Whichever one you want.
Because I love all music besides country. Sorry. Okay, I would say I'm really in a big posty mood.
New stuff or old stuff?
New stuff.
New stuff. Okay.
His song "Blame on Me." I don't know if you've heard it.
Maybe.
Wait, I'm like, that's by Posty, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's I've been playing that a lot. Yeah.
Okay. One morning routine non-negotiable. I feel like I already know the answer. Journaling.
As of lately, journaling.
Okay.
It always changes, but journaling, yeah.
What's one wellness trend that you just cannot get behind? This one might be hard though, because I feel like they always change.
I know. I'm trying to think of the ones that are like trending right now.
Like currently, ice baths, huge.
Love ice baths.
I love an ice bath.
I really do.
What's another good one?
I'm trying to think. Because I'm always open to trying new things, and
I'll try everything once.
I don't think there's ever been anything besides like fad diets and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, like fruit first in the morning.
Yeah.
No protein.
Oh, we could go into that for days.
Like the dieting ones.
Yeah.
Oh, I will not participate any longer.
Good for you. Yeah.
But
do you think? Have you ever done a salt float?
No. What is that?
Okay, maybe it's more of an East Coast thing.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
So it's basically this like we'll pause the rapid fire. It's basically like this big like tub, and it's filled with I don't know how many pounds of Epsom salt, but it's so salty that you float. And
it's like the Dead Sea.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And so it's like kind of therapeutic in the sense where like you just kind of like lay there and float for like a half an hour.
Wow.
And I did it for the first time probably like 2 years ago when I was super stressed out. And then I did like a series of them. So I did them like probably did like 4 or 6 or something. And I swear my sleep improved, my mood improved.
Wow.
And maybe it was partly because I was like, having this like dedicated meditation time like once a week, but also just like, think about like how you go to the beach and you're like, oh, like, my beach skin, like it takes 2 days and then my skin's clear, or, just you feel better. It was the same vibe. I did it in the winter too.
Oh, wow.
And like an East Coast winter, like it was brutal. But yeah, salt float.
Okay.
I'll have to like find a place and like send it to you around
Please,
here. Because it's super, super cool.
Trying to lower these stress levels right now.
You would love a salt float.
I need a salt float.
And it's
in my
helpful
life.
too because like you can't have your phone because you're like literally in water.
Oh, amazing.
So it's like, just chill.
It's a whole meditation.
You would I think you would really
Okay.
really like it.
I'm gonna start looking at places now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you would like it. What's another fun wellness trend?
I know, I'm trying to think.
I feel like saunas are making a little bit of a comeback.
Yeah, I'm in a big heavy sauna phase.
I love saunas.
I go to Perspire. I don't know if you guys have those in Maryland, but There are these sauna studios. You just get your own like little room. You rent it for 45 minutes.
Oh.
It's like LED lighting. I put on the red light.
Nice.
It's like a little oasis.
Do you do red light therapy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I do. I don't really do like red light therapy, but I put my red light on at night every night before I go to
only do
bed.
it at the sauna.
Okay.
I don't have
Like
a red
you don't
light.
have like your own, like DIY.
Eventually, I want to get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. I see people doing that all the time.
I know. I'm not that bougie yet.
No.
Eventually.
Well, and then I feel like too, like I'll buy something and then I'll do it for a short period of time. And I'm like, okay, I kind of forget about like move on to the next. You know?
I feel that.
Now we'll do my final question. So the average age of my listener is like 22 to like 24, 25. If you had to go back and tell your 22-year-old self one thing, one piece of advice, what would it be?
My 22-year-old self. So me a year ago, what would I say to her? So much, because I feel we're constantly changing and growing. Like so much can change in a year. I think I would tell her to just trust the process and continue surrendering, because it's all happening for her and not to her.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
So where can the listeners find you online?
They can find me on Instagram, TikTok. My Instagram is Nats Need Eats. A little bit of a tongue twister.
I love that name though. It's so cute.
Nats Need Eats. And then my YouTube and TikTok are Natalia Seliger. And my podcast is My Monday Mood.
And I will link all of those in the show notes for you guys too, so you can just click easy access.
You're the best.
Yeah, no problem.
You.
Thank you, Natalia, for coming on the show. So good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, anytime.
Love this convo. I'm like, can you just move here so we can...
It's tempting. It's so tempting. We had a really good lunch, and I'm like, wait a second.
You should.
I could stay.
You should.
I don't know if I would do well in like the hustle and bustle of LA, but
Come to
maybe
OC.
like
Come to OC.
It's tempting. I have a lot
or
of
San Diego.
So I have a lot of friends that just moved to San Diego.
Ooh.
And a lot of them were joking like, "Oh, like you won't
you won't move.
You won't."
Yeah.
I'm like, double dog dare me, see what I do. Could be tempting.
You should. We're young.
Might as well.
Do it.
Might as well.
Do it for the plot.
If you double dog dare me right now on the podcast, I'll probably like find it.
You guys, if she isn't live from San Diego or Orange County, I'll be surprised.
Here we go, guys. Lily takes California. Thank
it.
you, Natalia, so much for coming on the show. So good to have you. You are welcome back anytime. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a rate and a review. That just helps more people find and listen to the show. I love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Cool. And that's a wrap.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks, girl.
Thank you for having me. Oh my God.